Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back. This is another episode of the Hail Mary, and we had a decent sports week, and it is just getting even better because we have preseason football coming up. Shedeur Sanders plays today, and a lot of people are going to be tuning in for that. My Pittsburgh Steelers play tomorrow. I'm very excited for that. It's just a great time in sports. We're finally getting football back. College football, there's a lot of debates going on right now. We're back in the swing of things. I love this time of year. All the anticipation. I'm at that point where I have convinced myself that the Pittsburgh Steelers are winning the Super Bowl, and I am ready for the inevitable heartbreak of when they get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. But I am super excited now because everything that I'm seeing in camp makes me very happy, except for Cam Hayward, but we'll talk about that later because I don't want to talk about that situation right now. It makes me mad. We may talk about that on Monday. But here's what we're talking about today. We're going to be talking about Aiden Hutchinson because apparently he has been dominant in camp. We are talking about ESPN and how they have acquired NFL Network and NFL REDZONE and also WWE premium live events as well. I hate that they say that. Just call it a fucking pay-per-view. We're talking about Archie Manning because apparently Archie Manning has basically chained him down, saying that he is going to be in college next year as well, but we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about the extremely large contract that Roman Anthony has received from the Boston Red Sox, and if it is warranted, because the kid has been struggling a little bit, but, you know, we'll talk about that. And then we're going to talk about some of these NFL injuries that have been going on. We had some major injuries happen yesterday, so we're going to talk about those. And then we have our sicko of the week, which is the kid who got arrested for throwing the dildo at Sophie Cunningham, hitting her. He has been arrested. We will talk about that. So let's just talk about this Aiden Hutchinson situation because we all know what happened last year where Aiden Hutchinson was on a freaking tear. The dude had 7.5 sacks. He had 45 quarterback pressures in just 5 games. And then in that blowout game versus the Cowboys, he ended up breaking his tibia and fibula. He was out for 9 months or 10 months, whatever. And, you know, there were speculations that if the Lions would have made it to the Super Bowl, he possibly could have been back. We obviously know that they did not make it to the Super Bowl because they got freaking destroyed by the Washington Commanders. But apparently, he is back and better than ever, Aiden Hutchinson is. There were some videos of him training earlier this year where people said he looked gimpy and he didn't look like the same player. That seems to be the furthest thing from the truth. Apparently, the Lions had to implement a rule called the HUTCH rule because he has been so dominant in practice that he has been blowing up every single play and he has been getting to the quarterback so fast that the coaches have to have a rule in place where they won't blow the whistle if a quarterback is going to get sacked on the play because he's doing it so frequently and so often, the quarterback can't get any reps. The offense can't get reps because Aiden Hutchinson is just blowing plays up. And apparently that there's a rule the same for Myles Garrett that, you know, these guys are so dominant in camp that the offense, if they kept blowing plays dead, the offense wouldn't be able to get any time to practice whatsoever. Luckily for the Lions, they actually have a good offense. The Browns are the ones who really need the help. But this just goes to show you that Aiden Hutchinson is back. Sure, he looked a little bit gimpy running, but it's probably his first time back running after breaking his tibia and fibula. You got to think about it. The Lions last year made it as far as they did and were as good as they were without Aiden Hutchinson. They now are essentially, it's like they brought in Aiden Hutchinson through the draft. Like, this is an addition to their team. They had him for only 5 games. They still dominated. Think about if they would have had him in that game that they lost to the Commanders. Could have been a completely different game. I think the Lions are going to be scary this year, especially if Aiden Hutchinson is looking this good. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson's resume, 28.5 sacks, 4 INTs, 39 pass deflections in just 39 games, while he missed most of last year. And a lot of people were saying in my TikTok comments, because I made a video about this, like, well, the Lions offensive line just isn't that good because they lost Frank Ragnow. The guy's going up pretty much against Penei Sewell every day, I bet, who is one of the most elite offensive linemen in all of the NFL. If he is doing that to Sewell every single day at practice, he's back, and he is back with a vengeance. And I'm actually scared of what the Lions are going to be this year while getting him back, Aiden Hutchinson. And it begs the question, can Aiden Hutchinson do what most people have never done, what nobody's ever done in their career? Can he win Comeback Player of the Year? Because if he's this dominant, I think he's going to win that. But can he also win Defensive Player of the Year? Can he win both awards, Comeback Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year? Because the way that we are hearing how he is going crazy at practice, how dominant he is when he's on the field, and he's just going to be a threat on a team that is most likely going to be tops in the NFL for record. Can he win both awards, Comeback Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year? If I had to put money on it, which I may be putting money on it, I may be going to FanDuel or DraftKings or whoever wants to sponsor me, I may be putting money on him winning both awards, honestly, because if he's on a team that wins 14 games, 15 games, and he's dominant, they should just hand him both awards. And I have a feeling that he's going to do that. I really want to see what's going to happen with Aiden Hutchinson because, dude, the Lions are going to be scary this year with him back in the lineup, and he is dominant. And we'll see if they even make a trade. I mean, listen, there have been rumors that they may be linked to getting Micah Parsons. I don't think that's going to happen. I think if Micah Parsons goes anywhere, it might be the Raiders. I think if Jerry Jones wants to get rid of Micah Parsons, he's going to make sure that it is not within the NFC. So, yeah, I don't think that'll happen. But Aiden Hutchinson still by himself is a dominant factor. But if they had somebody like a Micah Parsons, just hand that guy the award. Just hand him both awards because he is just that dominant. So, yeah, the Aiden Hutchinson role is just showing you that those videos that we were seeing of him being, quote, gimpy and not running the best, yeah, it was probably his first time back on his feet, and he's doing things that, you know, somebody who broke their tibia and fibula would never be able to do in their life. This guy is absolutely insane, and I hate the fact that he went to Michigan. Fuck that. Pisses me off. Anyway, yeah, Aiden Hutchinson, pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good. Moving on, let's talk about some of the biggest news that went on this weekend, and it is ESPN buying the NFL Network. They are getting NFL REDZONE, and they also have acquired, basically not even acquired, stole away WWE PLEs from Peacock. So the main deal that's going on right now, ESPN has acquired NFL Network and NFL REDZONE, and the NFL in turn is getting a 10% equity stake in ESPN. What ESPN is planning to do on August 21st is for $30 a month, you get all ESPN channels. You're going to get the NFL Network plus NFL REDZONE, and it's also going to bundle with their Hulu and Disney Plus bundle. $30 for all that is absolutely worth it. Plus, they are also going to be adding on WWE streams starting in 2026. So they're going to be getting all of the biggest things like Royal Rumble and SummerSlam, which we just had, WrestleMania. This is an insane value for just $30. I know that we have complained that there are too many streaming services, but ESPN is actually doing the right thing. You are going to be getting everything for $30. It's not like it's just ESPN stuff. You're now getting WWE. You're now getting Hulu. You're now getting Disney Plus, which has amazing shows, especially if you're a nerd who likes Marvel stuff like me. $30 a month is absolutely worth it for NFL REDZONE. I mean, yeah. And the one thing that I was scared about with NFL REDZONE is that they were going to have whoever that bald girl is, what is it, like Monica McNutt or like Ellie Duncan or even freaking Stephen A. Smith be the new host of NFL REDZONE. That would have infuriated me. I would have hated that. I really would have. Thank goodness ESPN has listened, because I would have came down on their company with the power of 1,000 hammers from the sun if they would have got rid of Scott Hansen. Thank goodness they listened, because I wasn't the only one who would have been mad. Scott Hanson will this year still be the host of NFL Red Zone, and this better not be a situation where they're slowly phasing him out. I will be so freaking mad if they get rid of Daddy Scott Hanson. Scott Hanson is our football daddy, and they better not get rid of him. Another thing that I am worried about, though, NFL Red Zone for the longest time since its inception was 7 hours of commercial-free football. Last year, we started getting commercials thrown into that, and that didn't make me happy. I was very upset that I was getting commercials thrown into my football when it was supposed to be 7 hours of commercial-free football. I'm worried that because of this low price of this bundle where you're going to get everything, we're going to get thrown with commercials. I think it's going to be ESPN's model where it's like, hey, let's make this bundle a low price, but we're going to add some commercials to NFL Red Zone, which means they're not going to miss any of the action, but we may not get it as fast as we did when the NFL Network owned NFL Red Zone. So because before I would get the NFL, like we would get the NFL Red Zone, like if a touchdown was scored, we would see that immediately, like before even like our fantasy stats would update. Now I'm probably gonna know that a touchdown happened before I even see it. You get what I'm saying here? NFL Red Zone was good for that because it's like, hey, this team is in the red zone and here's the touchdown. Now it's probably going to be, you got to watch a little bit of commercials. Oh, during that commercial break, here's the touchdown you missed. That's going to make me a little bit upset, and you know, I'm going to be mad about that. One thing that is also going with this, apparently the NFL and ESPN are looking to do some sort of red zone for the NBA, for college football as well. Where I don't like it for college football, one, I think they've already had something like this. I forget the exact name of it, but it didn't really work out. I don't think we really need that for college football. There's too many games going on at once, and for like the NFL, you got to think about it. Like, everybody kind of has skin in the game because of fantasy football. Like, a lot of people have NFL Red Zone to kind of track everything that's going on in fantasy football. A lot of people don't care what's going on around the country for college football. Like, they're like mostly college fans. It's like, hey, I'm locked into this team. Maybe I'm only locked into this conference. Like, if you're a Penn State fan, you kind of don't care what's going on in the ACC. You really don't. You mainly only care about Penn State and then about what's going on in the rest of the Big Ten. You don't care what Clemson's doing. You know, and that's going to be something that I feel they're going to be flipping back and forth too much. And these kids at the college level, it is not a guarantee that something is going to happen in the red zone. You know, at least for the NFL, you know, hey, this team's in the red zone. They're most likely going to get at least 3 points. For college football, it is so wild. So we may be watching a team in the red zone and it just ends up stalling out because a coach goes for it on fourth down. It's a blown play. Like, people don't want to see that. People don't want to see ugly football. I don't want to miss my favorite team potentially scoring a touchdown because I have to watch UCLA stall out in the red zone. You get what I'm saying? Like, college football is a little less predictable. I'm sorry. Sorry. At least in the NFL, you know something is most likely going to happen in the red zone. And so I don't think college red zone, I should say, not NFL red zone. I don't think college red zone really makes a lot of sense. I mean, unless you are a diehard sicko like I am for college football. I like everything college football. I just don't think it makes sense for a lot of people. So let's stick with college football since we were talking about the college football red zone. And let's talk about Archie Manning, because apparently Archie Manning said that he will be staying at Texas in 2026 and that he is not going to be coming out in the NFL draft this year. So pretty much the quote from Archie Manning saying Arch isn't going to do that. He'll be at Texas. Shut down any Heisman hype as well, saying that he's not a candidate because he's only played 3 games and that is crazy. You know, I kind of get where Archie Manning's talking about this, because Arch Manning truly hasn't proven it yet on a big stage. And he is locked into a very tough position right now. His first game that he's going to be not starting, but like his first real test is he has to walk into Columbus, play Ohio State. Texas is ranked number 1. Ohio State's ranked number 2. This is a huge test for him. And people are already claiming that he's going to be the number 1 overall pick if he came out this year and that he's already going to win the Heisman. That is a lot to live up to in your first biggest start of your career. Arch's stats, he has a 67% completion percentage, 900 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in just 7 games. He's also added 100 yards rushing on the ground, and he has 4 touchdowns as well. He started 3 games when Quinn Ewers was hurt, and Steve Sarkisian mostly used him for wildcat packages when Quinn Ewers was healthy. But I kind of agree with what Archie Manning's saying. It's like, hey, even if you ball out this year, you still have to prove yourself even after 1 year before you go to the NFL, because the Manning name is sacred in the NFL, and he has so much he has to live up to. Obviously Peyton Manning, obviously Eli Manning, obviously Cooper Manning, like Archie Manning. There is a lot that is going to be riding on Arch Manning's career because he is the next wave of Mannings. The only thing is, say Arch Manning balls out. Say in that game versus Ohio State, he throws 5 touchdown passes. Texas dominates. Texas dominates the SEC. They go on to the playoff. They're the number 1 overall seed. They win a natty. Arch Manning wins a Heisman. At what point does he look at Archie and he's like, hey, look how good I am. It might be worth me coming out now. Especially, like, what if he's in a situation where the Saints have the number 1 overall pick? I think that there would be a real family discussion and a lot of media buzz. It's like, hey, he's only had 1 full year under his belt, but if he dominated that full year, is it worth him going to the NFL? There's a lot that's riding on this right now. So I get what Archie Manning's doing. He is wanting Arch to stay in college for a few more years just to get a lot under his belt. But I also think he's doing this as crowd control because everything is going to be thrown at him this year. It's like, hey, you played bad this year. Are you going to be able to be good in the NFL when you go to the draft in 2026? I think this is crowd control. So if he does have a bad game, people aren't weighing too heavily on him about his NFL future, where Archie Manning pretty much already like pseudo shut it down, saying, you guys don't have to worry about that. So in terms, Arch doesn't have to worry about it. But I have a feeling that if he balls out this year, Heisman, natty, dominates the SEC, there's going to be a real discussion in the Manning family that, hey, maybe you should go out. Now, what if it's a situation where maybe like the Browns have the number 1 overall pick? Does he want to play for Cleveland? You know, he has that leeway where he can kind of decide. Not that he's going to pull an Eli Manning, but he can decide like, hey, I don't like the team who's picking number 1 overall. They are probably going to pick me. Let's just stay in college another year. Maybe a team like the Saints will suck that year, and then they'll be able to pick me number 1 overall if I'm still good. You know what I'm saying? So I get what Archie Manning's doing, but on the flip side, I think that if Archie Manning balls out and the situation is right for his NFL career, I think he's going to come out. I really do. That'll be a conversation that goes on within the Manning family. They have produced some legendary quarterbacks. They're going to know what's right for him. And I think that what Archie Manning is doing is just alleviating pressure from him in case he does have a bad season, in case he just even has a bad game where people aren't pressuring him on his NFL future after just one bad game. So I get it. In my heart of hearts, if I had to think like what he's actually going to do, I do think he's going to stay another year, regardless if he balls out, wins a natty, wins a Heisman. I actually think that he may stay in college just because, you know, Archie's word seems to be law in the Manning family. So I think he's going to obey what his grandpa says, but you never know. You never know, especially if he balls out. But we'll see what Arch Manning's going to do this year. You know, I'm a little bit biased. I think he's going to lose that first game to Ohio State. Hostile crowd. Ohio State's ranked number 2. They feel slighted. They just won the national championship. They already beat Texas last year in the playoffs. So I think Ohio State's going to come out guns a-blazing. They also have a new quarterback as well. We kind of don't know who it's going to be. Right now, they have a whole 3-quarterback race going on, but it's going to be a tough test for Arch Manning. I think he's not going to get it done. I don't think he's going to play terribly, but I think Ohio State is going to win that game. But, yeah, we will see what's going on with Arch Manning in his career. That has been the biggest story because there were teams like the Browns, like the Saints, kind of banking on Arch Manning coming out this year, and Archie Manning really shut that down. So we'll see what happens with him in his career. But again, it's a long college football season. Anything can happen. So we'll see how Texas does. Is Texas back? I don't know. We'll see. Hey, before we move on to our next 2 topics, be sure to check out Underdog Fantasy and use the code HMM when you sign up because you can get up to $1,000 in a deposit match plus a free 0.5 pick. I absolutely love Underdog. I use it all the time during football season. It is my favorite app to have all of my favorite player picks. And again, when you sign up using my code HMM, you can get up to $1,000 in a deposit match plus a free 0.5 pick. And that 0.5 pick is essentially like, hey, Jaden Daniels only needs 1 passing yard and you win. Like, it's seriously that simple. It is a free pick for a reason. So sign up using the code HMM. Get yourself up to $1,000 in a deposit match and a free 0.5 pick. Thank you so much to Underdog. Use the code HMM. All right, moving on. Let's talk about Roman Anthony, and he just got a massive deal from the Boston Red Sox. You know, we all saw that he got called up this year because he was mashing the kid down in AAA hit like a 497-foot home run, and then like 2 days after that he got called up. Absolutely incredible. Boston has locked him in early. He is the latest victim of the early extension, and I don't hate when teams do this. A lot of people are like, whoa, he still has to prove it. It's like, hey, you've seen him enough in the minor leagues. You kind of know what you got with him. He's shown what he can do at the MLB level, and he's going to get better. But yes, Roman Anthony signed a contract extension. It is 8 years, $130 million, but he can make up to $230 million with incentives, and this also includes a $30 million club option for the year 2034. So his performance this year, he is batting .283 with an .828 OPS. He has 19 RBIs in 46 games, and he's also put up some decent games where he's had walk-off home runs versus the Houston Astros. A lot of people on social media were saying that based off of his recent performance, he is not worth $130 million over 8 years. But again, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, why don't we lock this kid into a contract early? Because if he does pan out to become what we think he's going to be, it is going to be a huge steal, which it would be. If he's mashing the ball, if he's hitting 45 to 50 home runs, and you have him at a contract like this, yeah, you got an absolute steal. Ex-GM, though, Jim Bowden, was shocked that he did leave $100 million on the table. He says it's Ronald Acuna Jr. vibes. But they said that he has been really good in the locker room. He's been, a lot of players like Marcelo Mayer has said like he's a brother to him. A lot of people said that he's adapting well to the MLB level. And again, it's just another level. I mean, he was mashing the ball in AAA. He just has to get used to the MLB. And some people were saying the 46 games is enough for you to adjust and kind of know where you stand on the MLB level. A lot of other people, like myself, I don't think that's enough. And we've seen it before with players where they have down years, and then they end up being one of the greatest players in the MLB right now. Tariq Skubal, the dude sucked for a few years before he was in when he was in Detroit. Now he's possibly the best pitcher in baseball. Jose Bautista, when he played for the Pirates, the dude was trash. He goes to the Toronto Blue Jays. They make one adjustment with his swing. He becomes one of the greatest players that Toronto has ever seen. Like, things can happen in baseball, and I like what they're doing. I like when teams lock in these contracts because sometimes it's going to help you, sometimes it's going to hurt you. Take, for example, my favorite team, the Pittsburgh Pirates. They did the same thing with Brian Hayes. They thought that he was going to pan out to be one of the top third basemen in the league. It just didn't end up being that way. He had a great glove. He was a Gold Glover. The dude just couldn't hit to save his life, and the Pirates thought that they were going to get the type of player who's going to be a Gold Glove and potentially a Silver Slugger. It just didn't happen that way. But I like what they did. They tried locking him up into a team-friendly extension, gave him a lot of money over a long period of time. They thought that they had a perennial all-star on their hands. It just didn't work out that way. So this could be the same thing that happens for Roman Anthony, but by all accounts, I think he's going to be great at the MLB level. The kid is awesome when he was like the number one prospect. So I like what the Red Sox are doing. Lock him into this deal. If he starts crushing the ball like crazy, this looks like a steal. If he's not playing so well, then yeah, it's a gamble. That's basically what it is. And when you're playing in a division with the Blue Jays, with the Yankees, you kind of have to take gambles like this. And, you know, I think Roman Anthony is going to be good at the MLB level. We'll see what he can do. It takes time, again, to become a great MLB player. I don't know why people expect him to just walk into the MLB and hit 50 home runs. That's not going to happen. The Boston Red Sox are banking on him getting better throughout his career. And let's be honest, these teams know more than you do, the people who are criticizing Roman Anthony, but people just want results immediately, and that's not what happens in the MLB. You know, you have your slumps, you have your ups and downs, teams adjust to you, you adjust back, and it's just an up and down thing. Roman Anthony will be fine, and I think the Boston Red Sox are going to get a steal with this contract. Personally, I think he's going to be great at the MLB level, and then, you know, they have the pesky pole, they have the green monster. He's going to be crushing the ball off that thing, so they'll be fine. I think the Red Sox got a steal in this contract, $130 million. With the potential to make $230 million over 8 years. Yeah, pretty good for Roman Anthony, if you ask me. All right, and then let's talk about the NFL, because there were some games yesterday, and some players have been getting hurt, and this is one reason why you should not be drafting in fantasy football until literally the last week that you possibly can, because we've had some players get hurt. Anthony Richardson got hurt yesterday on a blitz that nobody, not a single person, picked up the blitz, and Anthony Richardson got hurt. We saw Rashawn Slater, one of the best players on the offensive line for the Chargers. He got hurt yesterday after the Chargers cut his backup. Hours later, Slater gets hurt. That just kind of sucks. Kyle Hamilton's hurt. He's having foot surgery. He's out for the first 6 weeks, and he's likely going to miss the start of the season. CJ Gardner-Johnson, it was feared that yesterday he may have torn his ACL. It's looking that things are a little bit better for him, but that's just another thing that he's hurt. Jonathan Brooks, who missed all of last year, he is still having lingering knee issues for the Panthers. He may not be ready for the start of the season. Other casualties to these injuries, Khalil Shakir, he's having ankle issues, but he should be ready by week 1. Isaiah Likely has a broken foot. That's going to be a 6-week recovery at most. This is why you should not be drafting fantasy football. If you are drafting before the preseason even starts, you're a freaking sicko. If it's a dynasty league, fine. Like, I get that. But if you are drafting in a redraft league, if we haven't had a big name yet get hurt, but if I draft Jamar Chase 1-1 and then he gets hurt a preseason game, I'm blowing that league up and I'm getting all my money back. Do you know how mad I would be if that happened to me? And, you know, this is the annual, everybody saying, oh, NFL players are soft and they're made of glass. That's just a stupid argument. But yeah, we've had some some big time injuries happen in the past, and we're having guys going down left and right now from the preseason, and it just sucks. But when do teams start weighing in like load management going into like camp? It's a weird thing, and there's not really a lot to talk about with these injuries. It's just that Anthony Richardson got killed yesterday. Nobody blocked for him. I feel like that team actually likes Daniel Jones more than they like Anthony Richardson. And if you're going into if you are a Colts fan and you're going into a season having to wonder who your starting quarterback is going to be, Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones, my God, I feel so bad for you right now. But it looks like Daniel Jones is going to be your starting quarterback because Anthony Richardson got crushed. But yeah, that's just going on right now in the NFL. We have more games coming up. There's probably going to be more injuries that happen this weekend. I hope there isn't, but there's probably going to be. It's just the nature of the game of football. And we will be talking about those on Monday. Hopefully, nothing too bad. Just a few bumps and bruises are fine by me. I hope that there are no major injuries whatsoever because, yeah, that sucks. And also, Shedeur Sanders is playing today. That is one of the biggest things that people are talking about. We'll see how he does because he was the biggest story of the NFL draft. So let me know what you think. Do you think he's going to play well today? And if you're watching this later in the future after he plays, wow, crazy that he threw for 7 touchdowns. Can't believe it. That's awesome. No, but do you actually think he's going to do good? I really want to know what you think. All right, no questions again. My Discord server kind of sucks. Everybody who's in there is honestly boring as shit. And if you're listening to this and you're in my Discord server, you're boring as shit. So make sure you're joining my Discord server. I need people in there who actually want to talk sports, who actually care, because seriously, I have 50 people in there right now and they're all boring as all hell. They suck. They really do. And if you're listening to this and you're in my Discord server, I'm letting you know right now you suck because you're boring and you're not saying anything. I ask questions and nobody says anything. So if you want to be a part of the Discord server and you don't suck and you actually want to participate in sports talk, link is in my bio. If you're watching it on TikTok, if you're watching this on YouTube, link is in my bio. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, go to my TikTok where there's a link to join that as well. Only join if you don't suck, because everybody in there right now freaking sucks. They're all boring as shit. I ask questions about the NFL season and I get fucking crickets. Bunch of boring a-holes. All right, so let's move on to our sicko of the week. Let's move on to our sicko of the week. Oh, before we move on to our sicko of the week, I did ask a no context top 5. The answer to that, again, everybody in the Discord sucks, so nobody answered that question. So my no context top 5, I gave you the list. It was the Pirates, the Rockies, the A's, the Pelicans, and the Panthers. The answer for the no context top 5 were the currently the worst run teams in all of sports. These teams are absolutely pitiful, and they are the worst run teams of all of sports, with the Pirates being number 1 because Bob Nutting sucks. So, yeah, let's move on to our sicko of the week. All right, our sicko of the week is Caden Lopez, who was arrested after throwing a neon green dildo at the Mercury game. He has been charged with assault. An 18-year-old has been charged with assault for throwing a neon green dildo that apparently hit Sophie Cunningham. I think that his punishment for this shouldn't be jail time, shouldn't be that he's banned from WNBA arenas. I think he should have to go to 10 WNBA games, sit there, he should have to keep score, he should have no phone, he should have to score the game properly, and he should have to give a 1,000-word synopsis on what happened at every single game. That should be his punishment. His punishment should not be that he's banned from WNBA games. His punishment should be that he should have to go to WNBA games, because that's a punishment in itself. Things that have been going on, though, with this whole, because we talked about this last podcast episode with the neon flying items. Apparently, there is a new crypto coin called the Green Dildo coin. They have been bursting onto the meme coin scene. And after this whole, I think it was after the third dildo was thrown, third or fourth, the value of the Green Dildo coin has skyrocketed. It has gone crazy, just to show you that cryptocurrency is absolutely insane. That just adds to our sicko of the week. But yes, there's been, again, backlash to this. Coach Cheryl Reeve said that the sexualization of women is used to hold them down, and they're not the butt of the joke. They kind of are. Sophie Cunningham, after the toy landed at her feet, was just asking if they could just play basketball. And yeah, listen. The WNBA, again, I think just needs to double down on this. Right now, you're hating on it, and the fact that you're hating on it is gonna make people want to do it more. People want to see you girls complain. They're gonna keep sneaking in dildos until until something terrible happens. Something funny though, and this is where I'm gonna end my sicko of the week, and I'm gonna let you use your imagination on this. The WNBA is now implementing, I believe, a no bag policy. So there's only one place that people are going to be able to hide these dildos if they want to throw them onto the court. I'm going to let you use your imagination on that. Thank you for listening to this latest episode of the Hail Mary. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you were listening on Spotify, rate us 5 stars. If you were watching this on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the bell notification. I will be back on Monday. And yeah, hopefully a lot cool happens over the weekend. And yes, thank you guys so much. Be sure to join the Discord server. Follow me on all my short form platforms: TikTok, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, Instagram. We are everywhere. Thank you guys so much. Have a beautiful weekend. Enjoy football. Enjoy sports. Enjoy your lives. And if you plan on throwing a dildo at a WNBA game, let me know where you hit it. Actually, don't let me know where you hit it. Let me guess, because there's only one place that thing can go if you're a guy. So best of luck to you if you're doing that. And I will see you all later. Have a beautiful weekend. Peace out.